Hey everybody, this is On Screen Off Screen, a show where we like to talk about our week's media intake, books, movies, TV shows, whatever. This week it is Conlon and I. Lauren is off having an adventure. We hope she's having a really good time, but she is missed. Uh,
Here we go, talking all the things that we love to know, from books to movies, games we replay, taking what we see and bringing it our way. On screen, come along.
this week Conlon has greater majority of topics, so we're just gonna get started with him.
Okay. I'm going to start with book 11 and 12, He Who Fights with Monsters. I just decided to catch up with the series, and book 11 is the best book of the whole series. Originally, the author planned for this to be the end of the series. So everything comes together in what is honestly pretty epic. He needs to establish a barrier between his planet and the planet that he goes to at the beginning of the book series so that he can basically stabilize the dimensional shifts is kind of what it is. It gets a little bit more complicated. But to do that, he needs to go down to the center of the earth and basically have a giant battle between the forces of the god that brought him to this planet and the forces that are trying to destroy it. And it is absolutely epic. He decides to go into a spiritual zone, is kind of what it's like. It's hard to explain without you reading the book. But he goes into a spiritual zone, and in that spiritual zone, he's able to claim territory. And when he claims territory, he is able to influence that territory. That's what's required to be able to stabilize this planet and in turn create a bridge that will stabilize his own planet so that they can both thrive. There is an epic fight between two giants in this universe, an undead monster skeleton and one of his party members who takes an elixir from a god that is going to kill him, but he's staying alive long enough to hold off this monster. And it's just floods and floods of monsters and these other angel like creatures that are coming from this evil god, and they're having to fight it back over and over and over again. And it is absolutely epic. Author smashed it out of the park. Genuinely one of the best fight scenes I have ever read in anything. Like it's really, really good. The way that he has increased the magic system and how it all comes into place in this book is very well done. It was very well thought out. I just want, basically, when I want to talk about this book, I wanted to congratulate the author for literally years of hard work going towards something that really did pay off. I think this series should do what One Piece is doing right now. They are animating One Piece to get rid of all the filler episodes so it's just the story. People love One Piece because the story, I believe, is good. I haven't really watched it, but there's a lot of filler junk. This series has a lot of greatness in it, but there's a lot of filler junk. And when he's done, he should edit the whole thing down to about 2/3 of what it is right now, because there is just things where I'm like, Josh, I really want you to read the series, but I can't tell you to read 500 hours of content for this book that is a banger. But without that content, this book would not make sense because he does a good job of increasing the magic, increasing the stakes, helping you walking you along in the world that he has defined in his mind. He does a very good job with that. At the end of the book, there's gods, and then there's like these primortals that are above the gods. They're different, and there is a gate, a seat that has been open for a very long time, and there's a certain sect of these primortals that don't want the seat to be filled, because if the seat's filled, it changes everything. Basically, our main character Jason has been set up as a pawn by every side to create a battlefield where they can fill the seat. And because it's in Jason's soul, he gets to choose the method of the game that they will play for the seat. And he uses it to train with these primortals to become even stronger. and it is genius. It is very well written. I had such a ball. It was such a good climax to a book. Like, bravo, way to go, Travis. I was very, very impressed. The way that he weaves together an idea that basically what happens is he can control the primordials, so he gives them all of their strength because that's part of the rules, but only gives them certain memories. So he fights them over and over and over again. And earlier in the book series, he incorporates his soul with another being, and he slowly has that other being siphon his soul off into the seat so that he eventually takes control of it and can shatter this throne. It's very well done. I was super impressed. It was just really good. The whole book, there was no filler. It was just good. And then book 12 is setting up for his next arc. It's a filler book. They go to Earth again. He settles some old scores. He talks to people that he's talked to throughout the series. It was like a reminiscing kind of a book. It was fine. But book 11 was great. And I will continue the series because I'm interested in where it goes and where it ends. Book 11, I'm actually going to give a 9.5. Like, I think it's excellent. And book 12 is like a 7.
Are they doing it to where they're gonna trim it down and cut out all the fat and re-release it, or is that just something
No,
you want
but
to have happen?
I want to have that happen. And if I ever go to like a con where I meet him, I will tell him that he should do that. Because I think this series is something that's popular because it comes out so rapidly. So people can just devour it and they realize the good it's in it. But I think it's a series that's going to be forgotten because it has a lot of fluff. If you got rid of the extra stuff, I think this could be like an all timer kind of a series.
How
A,
much of it do you think is extra stuff? If you were just 1 through 11,
third,
not the 12th book,
a third,
a third of everything is just
a third of everything.
okay.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
Would you change anything with this 11th book?
Literally no.
Okay. Just all great.
It's just a great book. There's one thing I didn't think it was as bad in this one, and it didn't bug me, but I could see it bugging other people. The author has this problem, and it's part of the filler, where he'll talk to one side character and basically go through the same speech. And then he'll talk to the second side character and basically go through the same speech. We need to go to that castle, and this is what we need to do. One character, two character, three character, where that's not effective storytelling. And this does have a little bit of that, but it's way less than it is in the rest of the series. It's
Okay.
just, it's a writing thing that bugs me.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Other than that, like, book 11 was a banger. It's a great book.
Glad you liked it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to my topic. I realized that I missed this event. It was something that I was actually very interested in watching after watching the Jake Paul fight. Um, the UFC Freedom 250 on the White House front lawn happened, and I missed it, but I was able to go back and rewatch it. And I loved it a lot, honestly.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they had 5 matchups. If I was a betting man and had been watching this live and had bet, I would have won 4 out of 5 of those matchups. And my
Money.
fifth one was only because I made a rule in the first matchup that I was rooting for the certain individual because he didn't have stupid shorts on. I don't know why UFC people have these stupid shorts, but they're cut on the legs all the way up to the waistband. So it's only connected under the legs. And I hate that. I'm like, why? Why not just wear a skirt at that point? You weirdo. What are you doing? Um, so that was my rule that I established in the first fight. And it was the fourth fight that I was like, I want to root for this guy, but I can't because he has the stupid shorts on and the other guy doesn't. But the entire time I was like, I actually think he's going to win. So had I listened to that voice in my head, I would have gone 5 for 5. Um, I
That
think
would have been crazy.
the first fight is a pretty good fight. I think the second fight is a pretty good fight. I think the third fight is an amazing fight. I think the fourth fight is like
Okay.
so whatever. And the fifth fight was awesome. What a great, like, I was talking about the Jake Paul fight and hearing that he had Anthony Joshua had hit him. And when I actually watched it, I was like, man, I really wish that was a better punch. In this one, you get that punch like 7 times. And it's not
Really?
from just one guy, it is so back and forth. We have an American versus a guy from Spain who was born in Germany and grew up somewhere else. And I don't know why he's got the Spanish flag, but he does. Um, the first round one, evenly matched, totally back and forth. Round two, round three, utterly dominated by the Spanish guy. Round three uh, ends with the American getting some really good hits in towards the end, but the overall round was very easily the Spanish guy. Round four was utterly dominated by the American. And his closing remarks when Joe Rogan goes up and talks to him is like, y'all need to study my face because he hit me so well so many times, but look at my face and look at his. And I'm like, dude, like, way to kick a man when he's down. The other guy's like bleeding, his eye is swollen, and this guy comes out looking just like immaculate and is like, something wrong with my face, I guess, just because I look good and he doesn't. Um, but it was a really cool event. The walkouts, they all walked out of the White House in different ways. Um, all of the walkout music was done by the Marines band, and many of the fighters were like, "This is my favorite version of this song." Um, they have these cool, I think it was really cool, these LED screens that they walk to the octagon on, and they had this animation where the tiles were floating up under their feet with their name spelled out on it, and I was like, it's
That is
stupid and
cool.
it's fluff and I love it. And like, I don't know, maybe 200 people were watching it in person, but then on another lawn they cut to a few times, there's like thousands of people here to watch this fight on screens just like a block
That's so
away,
cool.
and they're like having concerts and doing different stuff over there, and I'm like, this was such an event. This is very, very cool. The fights were all really, really good. um, and now Indy is gonna have their race around the White House, and I think that's gonna be super cool, and I'm looking
I just
forward to
didn't know that
that.
one was happening.
Yeah,
That's cool.
they're actually doing it. They're gonna have an Indy race around the White House. Um, Conlon likes UFC. I think he's kind of died out on it in more recent years, but yeah, I think you should absolutely watch this for no other reason than like, it's weird. It's weird that the White House is hosting a UFC fight on the lawn. It's weird that Donald Trump is all like, let's get a ballroom and show elegance and, get a new plane so we can show our power and have a UFC fight on the front lawn because America.
Why not?
um, but yeah, I thought it was really good fights. It was very, like, especially the last fight, it went 4 rounds. It was extremely tense. And it was called off because one of the fighters it stumbled and missed his chair, and so the doctor was like, "Okay, we're calling it. We're
Whoa.
done." We gave him an extra round, because he said he could fight, but he just missed his
Missed
chair
a chair.
trying to sit down. So, um, very good fight. I liked all the interviews with all the people after the fight. I really liked the build up. Um, it makes me want to watch more UFC. Now, I don't think most
Cool.
of UFC is gonna be this good, but like
It's not.
this is a pretty attractive introduction to the world of UFC.
That's sick, man.
Yeah.
I will watch it. I should have. I don't know why I missed that either, because I was like, they're doing what? I thought it was an AI fake thing when I first heard about it, because I was like, that's not happening. What are you talking about?
I knew it wasn't fake. I just think that like they didn't do good of marketing for it because like I knew it was happening because I'm on sports TikTok and a lot of liberal people were very unhappy at the amount of money being spent on this event, even though it cost the taxpayers literally $0. Um, they threw a fit about it, so I knew that it was happening. But even though I'm on sports TikTok, there was no like, tune in tonight to watch this. I don't know when it was.
That's
I
crazy.
thought it was going to be like this week sometime, so I literally Googled it and I was like, hey, when is that? And they're like, it was last week. And I was like, oh, shoot. Can I watch it? Thanks, Netflix. I will watch it. But yeah, it's good. Very good. Just watch it.
Did you watch any of the World Cup? Have you watched any of it?
No, I keep telling myself I'll watch the next USA game and then it comes and goes. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I see clips. I see a lot of people talking about it. There's a lot of really cool stuff surrounding it. I talked about this with Lauren last week. I love on social media all the Europeans loving America,
Really
loving
cool.
American food, loving to see American thing. Right now, I'm following this Swedish couple, and they're driving through Utah right now, and they're
That's
like, "We're gonna go drive the Alpine Loop," and then they posted another video 10 minutes later, and they're like, "We didn't get 20." We didn't drive more than 5 minutes before we wanted to stop and take pictures. Look how pretty this is. And like they're from Sweden. They're from a pretty gorgeous place to
That's-
be good with.
Feels like it's very similar to our mountains,
Yeah.
but maybe not.
But no, they're just like loving Utah. They keep talking about how nice Mormons are. Um, I love all that kind of content. I've seen some highlights from the games. I see everybody saying USA can't do it. Um, but the favorite France lost. So like I don't know. I don't really know soccer. I have very strong opinions that make no sense about soccer, and that is I love the clock. I love that they say we're playing for 90 minutes, we're going to play for 90 minutes. So when there's a stoppage, we add that time back on. What if football was that way? What if they're like, we're not ending the quarter until you guys play for 15 minutes? It would make it like 6 times longer, but
It
like,
would take a whole day to play one game.
yeah. But I really, really like that. Here's what I don't like. I don't like that the referee decides that because we added 7 minutes, but Conlon's team is looking to score against Josh's team, and we're in the 8th minute. So we're going to wait and see if he does it.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I hate that. I'm like, you said 7 minutes. We're in the 8.5 minutes.
7 minutes is done.
But because there's like not a nice stopping point, we're just going to let them play it out for another who knows how long. Like, there should be an end. But at the same time, I'm like, I get it though. We don't want last minute kicks on goal for the sake of like how in basketball they just throw it at the hoop. We want them to set it up. They want them to actually score, and you can't necessarily do that in the allotted amount of time. But at the same time, I'm like, there needs to be an end. So it's like I'm so conflicted. I'm like, I really like that, but I also hate it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the World Cup. I know USA is doing really good. I hope they
They
keep
are.
doing really good. I hope I stick to
They're
my guns at least once and watch a game because I actually would like to. I know that they're pretty. Like, I don't think I would just watch it. I think I'd put it on my second monitor and do something else while watching it, but just need to do it.
I've been watching it at work, and if we weren't doing the podcast right now, the Real Stadium is having a giant watch party where you can just go for free, and they're having it on a huge monitor, which I think would be a ball because the United States game is going on right now. But the Belgium Senegal game, one of my coworkers bet on Senegal to win, and they were not favored to win. So like $1,000 would have been 4,500 is what he would have won. He put $5,000 down. Senegal was up by 2 points, 2-0 at 84 minutes, and then the last 6 minutes of the game, Belgium came back to tie it, and then in overtime they won. So I saw him go from "I'm definitely winning $16,000" to "I'm making nothing" in 10 minutes, or like 20 minutes. It was crazy. It was a crazy game. Very fun. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's been a good time. I think it's cool that everybody's coming over here. I think the pro-American statements are cool. It's been fun. I've actually had a really good time, but
Good.
yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and hit your next topic.
Okay, my next one should be pretty short because it's a dumb movie that I had a ton of fun with. Have you seen the Meg? Okay, basically, there's some science, but it's taken to an extreme. The idea is there's these hot pockets underneath the water or at the very bottom of the ocean, which is true. There are hot pockets. There is volcanic activity. That is a thing. But they take it to a point where it's the hot pocket like creates a bubble zone where everything underneath is warmer. And because of that, there's this cold water zone that this Meg can't get through and giant animals can't get through. They discover that this warm water zone exists, go down in a submarine, and see the Meg. Some bad stuff happens, very action movie. Some of the researchers die. They flee, and when they flee, it creates a hole in the cold zone, and the Meg is able to follow them through that hole. Well, yeah, it's ridiculous, Josh. It is absolutely ridiculous. But I had so much fun with this. This is my opinion of like how dumb movies should be done because it was just stupidly fun. And this giant shark is great. There's a part where this little girl is just walking down the hallways. It's actually in the trailer, and you can see the shark just kind of like appear, and then she has this like feeling that something's following her, and all of a sudden it bites the glass, and it is really well done. It kind of was fun in a way that I think Godzilla is fun for Josh, but I don't really know because it was just a giant shark, and I was like, "Yeah, take down the giant shark!" And they get harpoon guns and they try to shoot the giant shark and they try to blow it up. At one point, there's a evil guy, the like evil rich guy, which was very cliche, but he's decides that he's going to blow up the shark himself, and the shark eats the helicopter. Like it's completely and utter nonsense. The reason I wanted to watch this, my wife is she just finished the book, and she was like, "You've never seen the Meg?" She loves sharks. It's like her thing. She swam with sharks. She was going to be a marine biologist. Like that's the reason that she wanted to be a marine biologist. And so I was like, "Yeah, sure. Let's give it a shot. Let's give this stupid shark movie a shot." And I'm just so glad that I did. Jason Statham, I don't think there's a movie that he's in that I hate. There's things that aren't great, but I've had a decent enough time with all of his movies. And this is another one. Like I would put this in the upper echelon of Jason Statham movies because most of his are kind of like stupid fun action movies. And this one is dumber than most, but it's also funner than most. And I had a good time. And if you like sharks, I would actually recommend this, which surprised me. I'm going to give this a solid 7.1. I will rewatch this again, but it'll be a long time from now.
Fair enough. I don't have any kind of comments on it. I've just never been drawn to the shark thing. Like, I've never seen
It,
Jaws. I've never seen a Sharknado movie. I've never seen The Meg. Uh, I watched 47 Meters Down because my brother recommended it, and I thought that was really dumb. Um, for me, I think a big issue for me in these kind of movies is when they use real animals,
okay.
and I sit there and go, "That's not how they act." Uh,
Mm.
there's the big popular debate of like man or bear, or you know this or that, or what would you do if this happened? And me, somebody who grew up camping in the woods around coyotes and mountain lions and bears and moose and seeing all these kinds of things, I'm like, 95% of animals leave you the hell alone as long as you don't threaten it or its children.
Or his
Like
baby. Yep.
even some animals, just like unless you threaten its child, it's not going to cause a problem for you. And like sharks are very much that way. I know enough about sharks to know that like they're not just gonna attack you
Nope.
as long as
Every
like
once in a while, you'll get a shark that does like, you'll get this with bears too, where they do have the taste for human flesh, but it's rare, like
but it's
extremely, extremely, extremely rare.
always triggered by an initial attack.
Yes.
Right? So a bear just doesn't decide it's going to do it. It's like
No.
normally it's been threatened. It kills a human. It gets the taste for it and wants to continue. There is one exception that I am aware of, and it's an alligator.
Hmm.
And he went around and didn't follow any of the traditional alligator rules. Like normally, alligators are very territorial. This one's not.
Hmm.
Normally, alligators kill and eat. This one literally just showed up, killed humans, left the bodies alone, and then left.
Hmm.
So, like, very abnormal, like, crazy, very weird stuff. So, like, it does happen, at least in that one scenario. But yeah, most of the time when I watch these, like, this bear has gone wild, I'm like, yeah, but it could be like a super cool underwater dragon thing that breathes radiation lasers, like,
Radiation lasers.
it's there's a suspension of disbelief there for me that makes me enjoy the Godzilla movies and not necessarily this kind of movie. I'm open to trying it because, like I said, I've never really tried the shark thing. It's just never appealed to me.
It, if I were to recommend a shark movie, this one's stupid fun. I actually 47 Meters Down is one I also had stupid fun with. It's not a great movie, but I had stupid fun with. The one shark movie that I actually think is good is The Shallows.
Not Jaws.
No, I don't like Jaws. I think Jaws is wildly overrated. I don't
Okay.
get why people like it so much. I would recommend watching it sometime because it's such a pivotal movie, but I don't get it.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
With that, let's go ahead and move on to our shared topic. This one was Colin's suggestion. We're going to hear from him first.
Okay. So I finished this morning actually, and I was like, oh shoot, I wish I had a week to decide if I like this movie or if I don't, because I don't know. I think this is, I think I like it, but I kind of want to rewatch it. I'm not positive. It made me chilled and uneasy the entire time, which I'm going to give it massive credit for because that usually doesn't happen with horror movies for me. I watch a lot of them. Um, and this one was very just uneasing and unsettling the whole time. Basic story is I should backstory. The director, this is his farm that he grew up on. It's his family farm, and when he was a kid, he thought that one of the barns was haunted, and that's kind of where he got the idea from. But he took that idea and just raised it up to a different level. Basic premise is the dad of this family gets sick, brother and sister come into town, and some crazy shit starts going on. And the entire time they did a good job of making you feel uneasy and um, crazy and like you were losing your sanity. You felt the trauma that this family was going through. The and it just gets crazier and crazier. Like we're about 28, 30 minutes in, and the mom is starting to lose her mind. Like you can see her losing her mind, and she's making a meal, and she needs carrots, and she's chopping up the carrots, and she doesn't realize that she's like, "Oh, I'm out of carrots." So the next obvious logical thing is just, well, I've got some carrots, and it was just like, ah. And the mom dies. It's very early in the show, and it sets the tone for the rest of the movie, because this movie is grim, it's dark, it's depressing, everything is bad. I watched a review while I was driving to work, and he was like, I'm pretty sure this movie makes you feel like if there was a potato, the potato would possess and choke you to death and you would die. And if there was a rock, it would possess and it would hit you in the face and you would die. And that was a good representation of this movie, because the entire thing just feels dark. One of my favorite parts of the movie is it's 3 o'clock in the morning. The brother and sister are just like losing their minds. And they open the door and the priest is out there. And the show does a good job of twisting religious concepts. Our main characters are not religious, so these religious concepts have a way of weighing them down. So the priest comes in, and you don't know if it's the devil or if it's the priest. And he starts speaking more and more creepy. And he says, "Come out, come outside, come outside." And the acting is spectacular. Really, really well done. There's these little moments of creepy, well thought out, methodical, everything is dread moments that are just fantastic in my opinion. There's also some moments that do feel kind of just slow or confusing, like the actual priest. There's a phone call about his family, and I don't know how it connects with anything with the rest of the movie, literally at all. Um, there's sheep that all get killed, and I don't know who killed the sheep or why there was one sheep that had its leg bitten off. I don't know any of this information, and I kind of wish that I had some more answers to what was going on, but I don't think that takes away from the moments that are really well done and the tonal atmosphere that the movie portrayed. The other part that I really liked and wanted to mention, actually, there's two. The brother is going crazier and crazier, and he sees his mom walk up in a scene that I'm pretty sure Josh is going to hate. But he puts a knife to his throat, and it's like somebody is possessing him. And he puts the knife to the side, and then he goes and he just like leaves. He's like, I can't do this anymore. My family's gone. My mom and dad are dead. Whatever is living there, I don't want to be there. I want to be with my family. And he goes and he sees his family, and he walks into the room, and the entire time, brother and sister are just seeing these messed up images, and you don't know what is reality. And the mom and the daughter, he sees his wife and his daughters on the ground with slit throats. And my first thought literally was, oh man, the demon just followed him, followed his family, got to his family first. That is awful. And he slits his throat, and then the wife comes in and she starts screaming because it was all fake. And it got me. Like I 100% thought that the mom and the daughters were actually dead. And it was just chilling, it was haunting, it was very effective. Um the other thing on a negative aspect that I wanted to bring up was the ending, because I feel like the ending is cheap, and it's my probably biggest negative to the movie. This entire time you see these fake realities and you don't know what's real, and that is what is so effective about this movie. But at the end, it's just a jump scare where she thinks the dad is dead, and then the dad turns into a zombie or something and grabs her. And it doesn't make any sense for the rest of the movie. It doesn't work. It's jump scary. It's very cheap. I think if they would have changed the ending to something like the dad dies, she walks outside, and the mom is coming around the corner of the house, or the dad's shadow stands out of the bed, or something like that, or literally she's just alone and the darkness is setting in. There's so many different options that would have been better than the ending that they presented it, and the ending did drop it down some for me. Right now, I'm going to give this a 7.5, but this is a movie that I could see going down a lot or going up a lot upon review because I have a lot of thoughts and I don't know for sure. Anyway, it's kind of my ramble.
What do you think I'm going to think about this movie?
I have no freaking idea, man. I don't know. It deals with trauma in an interesting way, so I think you might like that. It also is kind of slow, so I think you might not like that. It also has the naked mom and uncomfortable sister naked part that is uncomfortable, and I think you might hate that. I don't know what you will think about this movie because it's a weird one.
For me, this is a very cut and dry, very easy decision for me. No ifs, ands, or
Okay.
buts about it. Um, Going back to my horror etymology deep dive, whatever. Stephen King breaks down horror into three aspects.
Okay.
There's the top of the tier part of horror, and that is the standing on edge, the anticipation, the your arm sticks up off the on your arms, you feel the what may come thing. The
Yeah.
second tier of horror, which is still really good in his eyes, is terror, the monster, the thing that is actually there, the what's under your bed, what it might do to you, what it might do to your loved ones. And then what he says is the third tier of horror, which is bad horror, which is disgust. And he said that if he is finds himself writing disgust, he is disappointed in himself as a writer because that is the cheapest form of horror.
Okay.
I generally agree with these definitions and these things, and this movie entirely depends on disgust. That is the
Okay.
only arrow in its quiver. It
Do you think? I'm sorry to cut you off. This is made by the same person who did The Strangers. The Strangers is a group of people that break into a family's house, and basically the entire time you don't know if they're going to kill them. I kind of looked at it the same way. There's a monster that is hunting this family, and they can't escape it. So when we're talking about terror, it's literally like a possession that they can't get rid of. They can't escape. It's always following them. It never lets them go. That's kind of what I pictured the story as. Does that
but
make sense?
how does it implement it? I can't speak to The Strangers because I haven't seen it. But in this
Okay.
movie, what do we actually see? We see the mom cutting up her own fingers in graphic detail. We see her
Mm-hmm.
hang herself. We see her show up naked, cutting herself with a knife. Every time something is scary happening, is it scary or is it disgusting? And every single time in this movie, it is disgusting. It is gore and graphic and disgusting. Can you have, like, or is it cut and dry that, like, you can't have gore in terror or in horror? No. But in this one, when I was watching it, it was entirely just gore. I wasn't
Okay.
invested in the mom. I didn't care. I'm just now watching her
Okay.
cut up her fingers. Now I'm watching the brother and sister find mom's body as she's hanging. Now I'm watching her show up naked. Now I'm watching the whoever it was show up, start cutting her own face with the, like, did I feel
Or the
any,
knitting needles nurse thing, like
yeah,
all that.
am I feeling any kind of anticipation? Am I feeling any of the horror? No. Am I feeling any terror? Am I questioning what these spirits, ghosts, demons want, need, or will do? No, because it's all just like you're gonna gorily kill yourself and your family. That's what you're gonna do. So do I feel any of that like what if? No.
Okay.
I saw it all, and so I'm actually going to divert our audience to listen to Conlin's review of this movie. Because the reality of this movie is I didn't want to watch it. I was disgusted. I ended up looking through Facebook. I ended up just going like, I don't care about these characters. I just don't want to see what is on screen. Um,
Mm.
so, like in my opinion, it is that third tier. It is cheap. It is just gore. It is just disgust. Does that mean that's what it actually is? Not necessarily. Um, I didn't pay enough attention to be invested in these characters. I didn't pay enough attention to be invested in this thing. So, like, for me, we got to about like just after the sheep when the girl is cutting her own face and stuff. And I straight up was like, I don't want to watch this anymore.
You turned it off.
I didn't turn it off, but I did skip
Mm.
15 seconds at a time. I was like,
Mm.
skip, oh, disgust, skip, oh, disgust, skip, oh, disgust, skip. Okay, that's what happens. Like, I know what happens, but I wasn't invested enough to care about this ending or anything, so I'm giving it a 2. I don't have any
Okay.
worry to do it. I think that Conlon is probably right on his review. Just not my thing.
That's fair. Are there any more gruesome movies that you really enjoy? I
Nothing
can't think of
comes
any off
to
the top of my head.
mind. Because,
Okay.
like, I have no interest in watching any of the Saws. Every time something does use gruesome gore, disgust, I generally don't really like it. My favorite horror things are things like Annabelle, Conjuring, Woman in Black,
Hokum,
Woman in the Yard for most of it, Hocum, you know, things that really
more
build
psychological.
the, you know,
Scent.
terror, that anticipation feeling, the what might pop around the corner feeling, um, and not necessarily just jump scare, jump scare, jump scare either, because that also gets old. Um, so yeah, nothing really comes to mind. Like I think that uh, some movies I do like have some elements of it. There's some gore in Widow's Bay. There's some disgust in it, but I still really like that show. Um, there's none in Haunting of Hill House, but I think there's a little in Haunting of Bly Manor, and I still like that one pretty well. Um, so I'm not saying it can never be done, but like,
It's more tactfully placed kind of a
yeah,
deal.
you want most of it to be the anticipation for me. You want a medium amount of the terror of the monster, and you
Hmm.
want sparingly disgust, if any.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe I'm probably a little just desensitized. Probably just a little bit. I guess Alien has a little bit of it too, because you have
Yeah,
the stomach
yeah.
thing,
I don't
but
know. Yeah.
it's sparse.
I don't know if it's desensitized or just a difference of perspective.
Hmm.
Because, like, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing in the horror genre to have disgust. It's just not my thing.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, like, my rating of this movie is a 2. But our audience should listen to Conlon, right? Conlon is our horror expert. He's seen the most of it. He has very well thought this through. I didn't see any kind of trauma message in this. While I was watching this movie, I texted my friend and I was like, hey, if you're ever being haunted because some ghost or demon or whatever wants my soul, just give it to him and get the hell out of there. that's what I got out of this. So it's like, just let's not do this. So yeah, it's not for me. Is my message on this, and I feel like for a lot of people, it's not gonna be their thing. But for some more people, it very much could be their thing. They could watch this and call it a 9 out of 10, and I'd be like, all right, fair enough. There's no like plot points or anything where I'm like, this is objectively bad. There's nothing that we see that I'm like, oh, that was poorly done or executed, or the writing wasn't good. All the actors did a really good job.
Yeah. Did you happen to see the part where the brother leaves?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought her acting right there was actually excellent.
Yeah. Acting is good. The sheep are believable.
Those believable sheep.
Yeah. They look and act like actual sheep. Crazy. But yeah, there was no deeper meaning when I was watching this one. It was just like, oh, that's gross. I don't want to see that. I don't care about this. I'm really invested in this. Why is mom naked? No reason for that. She could be clothed and it'd be just as effective there. XYZ, whatever. But yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to try and convince you to drop your score like I sometimes do. Just, my review is it's not for me.
That's fair, man. That's fair.
All right, I think with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. Thank you, anybody, for watching and or listening. Next week, we're going to be watching From. Getting back to it, we're going to be watching episodes 4 and 5 of the newest season. If you have any recommendations, please do let us know. We love hearing them. And remember to be better today than you were yesterday. Bye.
See you guys.